He found an alien girl outside his outpost. She didn't know humans never surrender their own. The storm howled across the crimson sands of Atheon IV like a living thing. Razor dust tore at the metal panels of Outpost Delta 7. And inside, Commander Elias Ward was certain the storm would rip the comms array clean off. He'd been stationed here alone for 6 months, monitoring the desolate frontier, logging weather patterns, and trying not to go mad from isolation. When the wind finally calmed to a whisper, Elias stepped outside, his helmet filtering the thin, toxic air. The desert stretched endlessly, a broken mirror of dunes glowing under the planet's twin moons. And that's when he saw her. A figure half buried in the red sand. At first, he thought it was wreckage, a piece of debris from a downed drone. But then the figure moved. Delicate fingers twitched. A head turned weakly toward him. "Hey!" Elias sprinted forward, his boots sinking into the dust. The closer he got, the clearer she became. A young woman, silver-skinned, with faint blue luminescence pulsing beneath her veins. Her eyes were enormous, reflective, almost liquid. Not human. Definitely not human. Her lips parted. Please don't." Her voice broke, weak as vapor. She collapsed into his arms. Inside the outpost, Elias placed her gently on the medbed. The scanner lit up with strange readings. 2 hearts, triple helix DNA, a bioelectric field he couldn't identify. She wasn't in any database. Not from any species registered in the Coalition's contact archives. She stirred when he injected her with the stabilizing serum. "You are human," she whispered, her accent soft and melodic. "You shouldn't help me." Elias frowned. "Why not?" "They'll come for me," she said, her luminous eyes filling with fear. "And when they do, they'll demand I be returned. Your kind, your rules, say you surrender outsiders to their own." He shook his head. "We don't surrender anyone who asks for help." The girl blinked as if she didn't understand. "That is not what they told us." Over the next few hours, Elias learned her name, Kaelith. She came from a ship that had crashed during the storm. She was a scout for the Lyrians, a race rumored to be both telepathic and coldly efficient. Her ship had been shot down, not by humans but by her own fleet. She had disobeyed orders, she said, to save a small human convoy in orbit. Her act of compassion was seen as betrayal. "They said mercy is weakness," Kaelith murmured as she sipped recycled water, her silver fingers trembling. "They said humans infected me with it." Elias smiled grimly. "If that's true, it's the best infection there is." But before the words could settle, a deep alarm blared through the outpost. Motion sensors. Several somethings approaching fast. Kaelith's face went pale. "They've found me." 3 Lyrian crafts broke through the clouds, sleek and predatory. Elias watched the readings spike on his monitor. No hails, no warnings. Just silent, deliberate movement toward Delta 7. He grabbed his rifle, checked the charge, and turned to Kaelith. "You can hide in the crawlspace under the reactor. It's shielded." She caught his wrist. "They will kill you if you resist. Humans are not like us. You surrender when overwhelmed." Elias met her gaze, eyes steady and sharp. "No. Humans fight when overwhelmed." The crafts landed in a storm of dust. Metallic figures emerged, Lyrians in full armor, moving like shadows. The leader's voice echoed through an amplifier. "Human commander, you shelter a fugitive of the Lyrian dominion. Hand her over, and your outpost will be spared." Elias tapped the comm negative. "She's under my protection. You want her, you'll have to come through me." There was a pause. Then laughter, cold and distant. So be it. The night erupted in chaos. Plasma fire tore through the perimeter. Elias ducked behind a barricade, returning fire with sharp, controlled bursts. The outpost shields flickered under the assault. Kaelith crawled out from hiding, her face stricken. "You'll die for me," she cried over the roar of explosions. Elias barked back. "Then I'll die doing what humans do, standing for each other." With a growl, he triggered the manual defense grid. Turrets roared to life, spraying ion bolts across the dunes. 2 Lyrians went down. Another staggered, armor melting under the barrage. Kaelith's eyes glowed brighter. "You shouldn't." But before she could finish, one of the attackers fired a charged blast straight at Elias. The impact threw him against the wall. Pain surged through his chest. Kaelith screamed, her telepathic energy flaring out like lightning. The remaining Lyrians hesitated, their minds recoiling under her psychic force. "Leave him," she shouted, her voice layered with power. "You will not take me." The Lyrians faltered, and then retreated to their ships, vanishing into the clouds. When the silence returned, Kaelith dropped to her knees beside Elias. His armor was scorched, his breathing shallow, but he was alive. "I told you," she whispered, tears like molten silver streaking her cheeks. "You shouldn't have risked yourself for me." He managed a weak grin. "You still don't get it. We never surrender our own. Doesn't matter where you came from." Kaelith pressed her forehead to his, her voice trembling. "Then I want to be human." He chuckled faintly. "You already are at heart." Days later, the Coalition rescue team arrived. They found Elias recovering, the outpost half destroyed, and the Lyrian fugitive still by his side. Official orders demanded her transfer for diplomatic review. But Elias filed a single, simple note in his report. "Lyrian or not, she's one of us now." Kaelith stayed on Atheon IV, helping rebuild Delta 7. Together, they watched the storms roll in from the horizon. 2 survivors from different worlds, united by the same unyielding truth. Humans never surrender their own. Kaelith dropped to her knees beside Elias as smoke curled through the ruined outpost. His armor was scorched, blood seeping between the cracks. She pressed her trembling hands to his chest, her glowing eyes wild with panic. "You shouldn't have done that," she whispered, voice breaking. "You risked everything for me." Elias coughed, a weak smile tugging at his lips. "You still don't get it. We don't abandon people. Not even when the odds say we should." Her tears shimmered like molten mercury, falling onto his face. "We were taught that humans surrender when cornered," she said softly. "But you," she shook her head in disbelief. "You fight harder." He reached up, his hand brushing her cheek. "That's what makes us human. We never surrender our own." For a long moment neither spoke. Outside, the wind carried the last echoes of battle into the barren night. Then Kaelith leaned close, pressing her forehead to his. "Then I want to be human," she whispered. Elias's eyes closed, his voice faint but steady. "You already are." When the Coalition rescue team arrived days later, they found the outpost half collapsed, its defenses scorched black, but inside Elias lived and the alien fugitive stayed by his side. Command demanded she be taken for processing, but Elias overrode the directive, his final report containing only one line. "She's one of us now." Kaelith chose to remain on Atheon IV, rebuilding Delta 7 beside him. At dusk, they stood together on the observation deck, watching crimson storms roll across the horizon. 2 beings from opposite worlds, bound by defiance, compassion, and a single truth that echoed across the stars. Humans never surrender their own.